Welcome back to this episode of the Vet Podcast. I'm your host, John Yount, and today's title is called The Reluctant Warrior, the story of Alvin C York. He was a poor boy from Tennessee, raised in the mountains with a rifle in one hand and a Bible in the other. He didn't want to fight. He didn't believe in killing. But when duty called, he walked straight into the storm. This is the story of Alvin C York, one of America's most decorated soldiers of World War I, a conscientious objector who became a national hero. Alvin Cullum York was born in a two-room log cabin on December 13th in 1887 in Pall Mall, Tennessee, of all places. He was the third of 11 children. 11! Growing up in a poor family that hunted, farmed, and survived off the land. His father taught him to shoot by the age of 6, not for sport, but for food. Squirrel, deer, rabbit, you name it. Alvin became an expert marksman with a muzzleloader, and he dropped out of school after 3rd grade to help support the family. He worked as a blacksmith, a logger, and a rail worker. The York family was deeply religious, but Alvin wasn't always a saint. In his teens and early tweens, he was known to drink, gamble, and brawl a little bit. That all changed after his father died in 1911. Alvin found God, joined a revivalist church, and turned his life around, dedicating himself to pacifism, faith, and a quiet life. When America entered World War I in 1917, Alvin York was 29 years old. Too old for early drafts, but still eligible when Congress expanded the age range. He was drafted into the U.S. Army in November of that year. He was assigned to the 82nd Infantry Division, later known as the 82nd Airborne. His military role was that of an infantry rifleman, trained in marksmanship and frontline assault tactics. His natural skills with the rifle were quickly noted by his supervisors. But there was a problem. York didn't really want to fight. He filed for conscientious objector status based on his religious beliefs, but it was denied. Torn between faith and duty, he prayed and ultimately decided that protecting others might be part of God's plan. October 8th, 1918. In the dense Argonne forest of France, York's unit was tasked with seizing German machine gun nest. During this assault, over half of his platoon was killed or wounded by heavy gunman fire. York took command because everybody else was down. The remaining men took his order. With just 7 others. Let me say that again. 7. He outflanked the enemy under cover of just brush. What happened next? That's legend. York picked off over 20 German machine gunners with precision shots. When a German officer charged with a pistol and sword, no hesitation, he was gone. He kept advancing, firing, pausing to reload, and calling out for Germans to surrender. And guess what? He and 7 other guys, this little small group of men, ultimately captured 132 enemy soldiers and neutralized multiple machine gun nests. This could have held back our men for who knows how long. But one man, one rifle, who knows how many lives saved. He gets back. York was promoted to sergeant and awarded the Medal of Honor, along with the Distinguished Service Cross, the French Croix d'Honneur. I murdered that. But he got those and others. When he returned home, he was hailed as a hero, but shunned the spotlight. He turned down movie deals and commercial offers. Instead, he used his fame to build a school for the underprivileged children in rural Tennessee. York believed education, not war, was the way to uplift the community. He married Gracie Williams in 1919, and they had 8 children. He remained a humble farmer and a public servant for the rest of his life. Alvin York died in 1964. He was buried with full military honors in Pall Mall, Tennessee. His story is one of deep moral struggle, reluctant duty, and incredible courage. He didn't go to war looking for glory. He went because he believed someone had to stand between good and evil. Well, that and he was drafted. And if it had to be him, then so be it. York's legacy remains. And sometimes the strongest warriors are the ones who hesitate to fight, and do so only to protect others. We need more people like him in our world. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Vet Podcast. If Alvin York's story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder of what quiet courage looks like. Join us next time, and we'll bring you another story of honor, sacrifice, and the veterans who shaped history. Until then, stay proud, stay strong, and stay grounded.